Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Yes, he's here. Welcome.
Look at that. See the story about what you call those little robot things, a Roomba?
Yeah, so the vacuums.
Went under a bed in Australia, and when it came out, there was a huntsman spider that had it upset, and the huntsman got into a fight with it. The huntsman won. It's apparently not only being the size of like a dinner plate, they're ridiculously strong for their size, so it fucked the Roomba onto its back and left it there like a turtle and returned under its bed. So, you know,
Well,
please don't have nightmares.
There's another reason not to visit Australia then.
Like that dude that kicked the shit out of a fucking vacuum cleaner.
So Australia is safe from the robot uprising. They'll just breed more bigger spiders.
Yep. Can't remember. Some whiskey in there, because you never know.
Hello, Rumbly, Demons Up, Dark Delegate, Jack 1. You're drinking stuff with whiskey. Bless you.
You're welcome.
When I went to our local Aldi today, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, because the middle aisle had wetsuits and TIG welding gear. Oh, I had the Trooper beer. It's a progressive lager.
I guess this isn't the same that you have, because this one says made in Germany, so...
I didn't think... It's been a long time since I've had the Trooper, but I thought the Trooper was a ale, like a dark ale of some description. I didn't think it was a lager.
Yeah, that's why I'm guessing this is a different Trooper potentially, because I know there's another company also providing a Motorhead themed beer, and they are only available via online shops. So
yeah.
I have no clue how this will be going to taste.
Be lucky.
Just give it a go.
Yeah, no, the Trooper over here is an ale. A sort of mid-amber ale. So it depends how wee coloured yours is. Time will tell.
Good.
Speaking of Iron Maiden, tangentially at least, see Blaze Bailey's still alive.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
Oh, he put out a video 2 days ago that he was out after his heart surgery.
And I thought you were going to tell us about Cool Mini or Not bringing out the Eddie editions in 23.
Just a website for rating people's paint jobs. That's all they are. But no, so I hadn't heard from Blaze in fucking forever. And then there was I'm recovering from my open heart surgery. And then this morning there was I'm touring Ireland in 2024. So he's playing like 4 or 5 venues. It's like, wow, okay, fair enough. I expect you're expecting no repercussions, altercations, or anything upsetting that schedule then, Blaze, old buddy, old pal.
Well, to be fair, the one time I've seen him live as frontman from Iron Maiden, he was so static you could put him on a wheelchair and let him sit on the stage. That wouldn't be any different.
Fair enough. I've never seen him live. He had a good voice.
The voice is okay, but he literally it's
stage
Iron
presence.
Iron Maiden set, and he was statically standing at the center stage, mic in hand, and nothing else. Whilst dear Mr. what's his face, Bruce Dickinson is going from left to right like.
Yeah, but he's a fencer. He's very used to going back and forward on a small strip.
Also, he's a
Just
pilot.
thankfully didn't attempt to take off. Yeah. So he could do a weekend at Bernie's. Could if he doesn't survive. That's true. Weekend at Blaze Bailey's.
Wouldn't that be funny as a last will from some musician? If I'm dead, put me in some kind of sarcophagus and
just do a tour.
do me up in plastic and then make a last tour. This will be the definite final farewell tour for whoever it is. Well, that's
Yeah,
a way to
good
go.
times.
And the last concert of that tour will be the live cremation of the body.
No, you just for the final part, you just fuck him out into the crowd for a bit of crowd surfing, and
Well,
don't
he's
get him
stiff
back.
at that point.
Yeah, it's all about it's how it works.
Hell,
But
Nick
Nick,
and Tuffy,
there's Nick. Have you recovered from
from your being older
RPG Day?
and being old. He had his birthday last week.
He did, and he came down to celebrate it in Korean with us playing games of tiny non-fighting men.
Oh no.
It was great. Call it death metal. Classic.
Yeah, and the band is being called Corpse Grinder.
Oh, that works.
So tonight, a short little list with specially selected stuff.
Things, bits.
And also
There I
bobs.
said bobs, things and bits and stuff. You're not commented on my delightful background.
Well, I feel like home.
You do. Everybody enjoying the castle there. It's good, isn't it?
I think it's too expensive. It's just for posh people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could probably pick that painting up relatively cheap.
Yes?
It's a fairly unknown Austrian artist. Didn't really cut it in the art world. Went on to do bigger, better things in politics.
Well, we're off to a good start here, aren't we?
Yep.
Oh, Christ on a bike.
Congratulations, people.
Hello, Zorg.
You're having a look at the early Republican contrast speed paints, Roman saga Hannibal, Clash of Spears, Roman gods, Greeks, Romans, Athenians, Roman Spartans, and lots of stuff, Romans.
Yeah, and
Wow.
also, where's my button?
Saga and Clash of Spears, couple down.
And mold lines.
Idea.
Lots of them.
Oh, it's very harsh. Very harsh.
It's
I'm
the
glad.
biggest project picture ever, and there's this sodden mold line that just eats your face.
Really, I'd be more worried about the fact that it looks like he's sprayed them with some sort of fine concrete.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
You know.
So this is Buggero's project, and it's been an older one. We have been here ages ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. But he snuck things in while nobody was paying attention. So these are his Republican Romans. They go to the house. I think. I know it says there are multiple different nations in there, but I think this is just him starting off with the Romans. There are some Greek skirmishers further down.
And again, I know these are riders, but this just looks wrong.
The toothpick right up the jacksie.
It just hurts. See, it hurt him so much he can't even sit down properly on his horse.
And well, it's motion. He's bouncing up in the saddle. You see? That's how that
You're
is.
saying that. I'm saying he's not sitting down because his rear end is a bit sore.
Oh, he needs some sort of Romanesque
Ring-sized cushion.
ring. Yep.
What's this? The ring of laurels, but for his buttocks.
Boutarks. So this was all about getting the Tiny Fighting Men painted in double quick fashion by the medium of contrast. Glad he did fix the helmets, mind you, because they had been silver, and iron helmets were not a thing at this period. Just weren't. So bronze the way to go. Fix that. Move on with your life. It's good. Good times.
Yeah, you told him off, and he quite happily.
I didn't tell him off. I merely offered the suggestion that if those things weren't felt, then they were bronze.
I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines: change them, or I will cut you.
It might have been that. I think we'd actually played a game of Clash of Spears at that stage, and then he went home to Dublin and started working on these, which is fair enough. It's interesting because he's having to use real metallic. This past week, I picked up some of the Army Painter 2nd edition paints, including two of the metallics, to see how they go.
Have you had time to test them?
Oh yes, I believe it's going as a jerry can this Thursday.
What's your verdict then?
On the metallics,
Mhm.
whenever I heard they were bringing out metallics, I went, "That's pointless. Metallic paint has with decent metal pigment in it is heavy enough if you just thin it down."
Mhm.
And then having got it and tried it, I still am very much of that opinion. I mean, yeah, it's more or less how I apply my metallics anyway, a super thin, watery layer, and then I build up layers after that. I just don't see, I'm not seeing enough contrast in them to be worth my while. Maybe other people's results will vary. There's some there, but you can't see them because they're very far away.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of Army Painter, have you seen their advance to 100,000 subscribers?
Oh yeah, like every 5,000 subscribers they get, they're going to do some sort of mad giveaway.
Yeah, starting with
I think
5
like
wet
three at the moment.
pellets. That goal has already been crushed.
Fair enough.
So they gained 5,000 subscribers within a day.
That, keeps them out mischieving off the streets, I suppose.
I, I was thinking, with my luck, I'm going to win the major prize, which is a ticket to that weird Warhammer fest in the US.
Right.
Being sent to a tournament I do not want to play in a country I do not want to go.
That's good. On the plus side, you'll probably be shot, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I guess I will
Yep.
be detained the second I get off the plane.
Got you, little fly bastard. Yeah, what are they at? 41,000 subscribers.
Oh, and Crispin is going to have his birthday on Friday, he just says in
Oh,
chat.
turning 52 in a better health than Justin. I believe that's probably because you don't just eat yellow.
Come to
Today, I'm
think of it,
mostly
did,
yellow.
did, did Justin eat his yellow blanket?
No, we give it away to a winner in a competition. Somebody
Yep.
sent him a new one, but it's not the same crusty old weird yellow blanket. So, in that respect, it's a little bit disappointing.
Well, yes. So, Mr. Bagarov, please continue your project because you're not done here. Clearly,
Nope.
project
Well,
is active. It's a spring clean challenge. You could have made it work for this year, you
it's
lazy
probably
git.
been sitting there since 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
So, who knows? The important thing is he gets it all painted before he comes down, and I kick his ass in Clash again. So it's not half as grim as the blanket itself. Don't worry about that. Anywho,
Well, I think we can go on to the next project since this is just a short update.
yes, this is Clash of Romans and Spears of Romans of Third Servile War Romans.
Even more Romans. Miniature brushwork.
Yeah, this is good. Everybody loves the Third Servile War. It's one of our favorite wars. You probably, even if you're not into history, will know the Third Servile War. You may know it by the medium of Spartacus, because it was also the Spartacus Revolt.
I've heard of him, but
So,
that's about it.
so I'm Spartacus, and so is my wife. But yeah, the little war band is coming together quite nicely. It's an eclectic mix of stuff. I think I may be wrong here. I think they're like 15 mil. I don't know if they're 20, 25 or not. I don't think they are. They didn't. Then that picture there
They look
looks
a bit
relatively
tiny.
big. I'm now curious, sluggish like a wet sponge. I
Well,
must know.
I'm guessing since the picture's taken inside a light box and how big these are, I'm guessing these are actual 15 mil.
Yeah. The problem with that is we have a light box in work that is about 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. So a banana man for scale would make much more sense.
Yes, that is very true. Though, maybe is there 15 mil decals for Romans?
Oh fuck yeah! Oh god
Okay.
yeah! Oh, 3Vs, Veni Vidi Vici, do down to 6 mil decals, and they're not alone in the world. So could go either way. They may just be older, sort of 25mm scale figures. Small unit of of gladiators up front. That is the most expensive / hardest part to get, is the actual gladiators. Which is why I keep asking Wargames Atlantic to do plastic gladiators. When they were doing the Gangs of Roman stuff for Roman Gangs of Roman, I suggested, because they're doing just a load of people in togas, just having a set of gladiatorial arms / helmets. That's all you need. So net and trident, punch dagger, armored arm, scutum, gladius, a couple of different helmets. Just being able to, even, having the option for 3 per sprue. Generally, you're going to get 6 sprues in most of the historic boxes, so that you can make 24, 30 figures, depending. But that would give you like half a box of gladiators, which is fucking great. Because, by Christ, there's only about 5 companies make gladiators, and they make 12 in total between them. It's a bastard if you want to get gladiators and not have them all look the same. They look like War and Congo. I think you're right. That might be why they look familiar to me. Anyway.
Yeah, this is a small little project. Again, some people just leave the project sitting
there
around.
you go there. Related company is Forged in Battle, so they are 15mm. I could have just read the side of the fucking project.
What? Read?
Yeah, I know, it's madness. On the plus side, it does mean that I was right. They are tiny little people. Tiny little people.
Very tiny fighting men.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said about tiny fighting men for skirmishy games like that. I mean, you can have so much fun. There's a great saga battle report / blog where a guy did the Age of the Crusades in 15, which is where I stole the idea from, except they based all theirs individually, whereas I kept the bases 25mm size and put multiple on it to make them look bigger, make it look like a bigger force, whereas they just went, fuck it. So everybody goes on a 1p piece. Everything looks fucking teeny tiny. We can play this on top of a breadboard. It's good.
Can I just say, I don't know how he managed to do this, but since these are multiples of the same miniatures, they still look very individual. I had to look 2 or 3 times to see the actual duplicates in this.
I mean, the key is make them starkly different. The easiest one to spot is the guy leaning on his pitchfork, and one of them's got a purple robe and dark hair, and his mate's got light blue-grey robe and blonde hair. Yeah. They look distinctly different. So, but even within that, there's only a small palette of colors being used, so you don't want to be going too mad or extravagant when you're painting, because nobody's got time for that.
Especially at 15mm. Not painting any buttons.
No.
And then being called off because you chose the wrong shade of gold.
I mean, to be brutally honest, I'm amazed that a couple of peasants have managed to get purple robes and cloaks, considering the price of that. But presumably, they stabbed the living shit out of somebody and stole that. So there's some Roman senator and his wife probably got mugged on the way back from the Colosseum. I'm having that. It's delightful.
Welcome, Dave. And there's Pete, just when we talked about pizza in Rome.
Oh, see? Nummy, nummy, nummy. I was reading that same BBC article, actually, Pete. Looking at that going, oh. Funnily enough, I thought of you when I seen the pizza in Rome and the mosaic fresco, whatever it was that they discovered. I was like, I'm going to see that on the side of a building soon.
I guess we're going to see a building.
It's like the ones they find in Pompeii, where not everybody was literate, so they would draw or paint what they were serving or selling up the side. So whenever you went into a restaurant, you just point.
Point and click, the medieval way.
The McDonald's way. Don't need to be able to read stuff. You just go ahead.
Press your nose against the window of the thing you want. He needs a pizza parlor now. Yep.
We all do.
And the chef going all spindly with the dough on his finger.
Spindly dough.
So, where do we go from these clashes?
Well, weirdly, we go to me, which is madness. No, Crispin, haven't sent it to him yet. It's shocking in many respects. I'd like to start off by saying, right up top there, those Celtiberian-looking fucks. You see the guy third from the right with the red shield?
Mm-hmm.
He's fiance of a friend of mine in Italy. He's big into his reenactment, and he's also written several. He's a historian, so he's written several books on the thing. But in his spare time, he plays, like a Celtiberian or that type of thing. So sometimes he runs about the place being all Carthaginian as well.
This is also Clash, and it's a abandoned project, or is it just shelved?
It's partly shelved. Did I need to paint these? I remember what it was. We were getting a visit from Firelock Games. And this I need to go back. I need to go back for two reasons. One, I have a lot of fucking work to do on them. But two, this is 2 out of the 4 Punic War forces I have. So I've also got Greeks and I've got Romans. And the idea was I was going to do them all in here. So I started off prepping the Carthaginians at the bottom, as you can see. Look at them all on lovely square bases. But then, Big Rufus from Firelock said whenever he was over, he had Clash, big fan of it. We should play a game. I was like, okay, well, I've got my Greeks painted. I'll quickly knock out an army for the Celts. So I painted up the Celts, I think, in 2 days, 3 days. There was an awful lot of fucking late nights, and then whenever they got across to film, we didn't have any time left to play Clash. So, I never got round to finishing the force, which is why there's, if you look in a what many people are calling bugger off styly, there's an awful lot of iron helms in there where there shouldn't be any iron helms, but iron/steel covers better than bronze, so I always use it as a base color. So there's a lot of that sort of kicking around that I need to go back, and none of the transfers have been edged yet, and none of the shield bosses have been painted. It was literally, can I get a basic bunch of colors down on them so they don't just look like grey plastic?
Yeah, as long as the parts are still all there, I guess you're golden.
Oh yeah, I mean it's well, they're all in the fucking case. I just need to go back and start tidying things up, revisiting them all. Just even oh Jesus, cutting out the shield bosses. I don't know what picture's currently opening. Oh, one without any shields.
All them.
But when you see the shield bosses for the Celts, they're all very unique, distinctive, different. It's like, here's a curved thing, here's one with 3 spikes off it, here's one with a star pattern, blah blah blah, and every one of those fucking shield transfers have to cut the shield boss shape out before you peel it off and then stick the backing on to get it to fit around the shield boss. See, you can see what I'm talking about. It was a reet bastard.
I was thinking it's just the center thing, and I was going to just suggest just use a center punch, but holy fuck, that's
Nope,
that's not happening.
work.
I think at this point they could make actual money selling stencils to punch them out in the appropriate form.
You say that, but my hex punch costs about £70, and that's just 8 or 9 different sized hexagons. To make a punch of those unique sizes and spacings, far too expensive for the die cuts. Etruscan pizza, I imagine, is probably a great thing. £70, yeah. I don't know if you can. I remember when I first seen it years ago, my mate bought one. It was only like 30 quid, and then 20 odd years later, it was like, I should buy myself one. And then you discover how fucking rare they are.
Does it include hobby tags, or is it something generic?
Oh no, it's specifically for for hobbyists, for modelers, nobody else makes hex punches. Because who the fuck needs to punch plastic card out in the shape of a hexagon? It's not done by anybody else. No need for that.
I would have guessed maybe architects or something.
Oh fuck no, it's too big. Architects don't work in such a ridiculously sized scale.
Now the picture is doing it.
To be fair, a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, I think I seen Green Stuff World doing the usual, i.e. copying somebody else. So it's entirely possible that they're selling the hex punch, which is just the same color, or not same color, same setup, which might be cheaper than 70 quid.
They are getting inspired by other companies.
Yeah, sure. Whatevs, matey boy. Nope. No, they haven't.
This one in the back with the blue shirt on.
If you could find a hexagon leather punch, yeah, go for it. Yep.
With just the silver helmet, he looks like he fell off a motorbike.
Oh yeah.
You could just take him and put him in some kind of motorcycle gang.
And why would you not? I really should dig those out just to finish off the metallics and the basing on them. Because I mean, once that's done, then I could do some oil washes. And fuck, they're nearly finished. Look, I painted the red edge of that shield on the front left guy. Look, it's red all the way around. It's not just the transfer stuck on and then left. Oh, I just need to do that on every other fucker. And then, this is true, that is half of the kilts I have. So I've got that again, because I bought 2 boxes from Victrix, so it seemed like the thing to do at the time. So I need to assemble the rest. The plus side, no fucking mold lines.
At some point, you must ask yourself, are you a glutton for punishment?
Well, I think we know the answer to that.
Yeah, maybe let's not go that way.
Nope. Best not. Anyway, you could subscribe to it. Who knows? I might update something at some point, somewhere. Who knows? Discuss. I won't.
Could be interesting in the future if future happens.
I was talking about, I don't know why Carthaginians were in my head recently. Somebody was mentioning it and I was thinking, fuck it. It was Lloyd. Lloyd's been talking about doing his. Yeah, there's Victrix Celt, mate. Which made me think about my Carthaginians then and my Romans to go up against them. Because they're already assembled but not cleaned up yet. They need cleaned, then primed and painted. But they're in a box just outside the door. So I should probably do that just to get them off the fucking landing.
Yeah, I think the amount of stuff you have put yourself up to do, I think I would have quit at this point.
I know. The important thing is to move on before you actually have to do it. I mean, unless somebody suddenly goes, I'm going to come over. Do you fancy playing something? Then I was like, oh, fuck, I should try and paint that. Unless it's Paul. In which case, I know his stuff won't be painted or on bases, so I don't worry too much about it. But I'm not going to discuss why his claws are longer on one hand compared to the other. It's very Lady Gaga like that. But in my defense, sometimes it's that little push that you need. So, for example, randomly, somebody asked on the store Discord, was there anybody who played Battletech, Dystopian Wars, or Malifaux? And I responded, well, John and Shay technically played Battletech. I don't know if they played more than like 2 games, but technically they have it. Dystopian Wars, we have 4 painted fleets, so that's viable. I have no problem coming down playing Dystopian Wars with you, mate. If you're planning, if you want to play it or already are into it, blah blah blah, looking for an opponent. And then Malifaux, I've been fascinated by Malifaux on and off for years, and then somebody else popped in and went, "Oh yeah, Malifaux. I live down in Belfast, but I play that. I've got all the crews. I'll come down if you want." Bring whatever, I'll bring a load of stuff, teach us how to play. Going, this is great. I have a Malifaux warband troop nation. I don't know what they're called. It's called Toil and Trouble. It's a special edition version of something. where they're like all pumpkins and witches and stuff instead of whatever they're supposed to look like normally. So I've got a Force, which are in this box and just need to be, painted. So that's something that I could potentially do before the end of the month.
That would be
Well,
nice.
not June, July. Wrong month. Focus, people, focus. Anyway.
Oh, and speaking of getting people to play stuff, today somebody on the weird and lovely internet service that is called Mastodon asked, "Is anybody playing?"
That weird.
Is anybody playing? What's it called? Moonstone.
Moonstone, yes.
And I said I personally don't play it, but I heard nothing but good, and also miniatures are great, and thirdly, the rules are free, just grab them. And they went, hooray, free rules, and now I think somebody is piling up miniatures.
Good. It's very popular in Germany.
And I don't feel any remorse or guilt, because they asked for it, literally.
Counts first. The multi-award winning Moonstone, fucking right.
Yes. Oh, I failed to mention that. Need to remedy that later. Multi-award winning, no rules.
Because I think Tom's been talking about going to something in Germany at some point because it sells better there than I think it does in England. Or if it doesn't, it's like the second biggest seller is the German market.
I guess he will be going to Spiel then, potentially?
Don't know. Because he did UKGE. He's currently in the States at Origins, which will not have been cheap to get over there for that. But at least it gets people looking at the multi-award winning Moonstone. So
also, Moonstone has a German rule set, which is a big plus for some.
Yeah, like the Swiss flag.
Yes.
It's a big plus.
So, after all these clashes,
yes,
there's something more.
Freaks. Ha ha! For the saga.
Draco 48 Oz. Or is it 48 ounces?
Ooh, good question. Not sure. Could go either way.
It would be a very tiny dragon with 84 ounces.
Now, I've been here before, but I don't know if that means we've been here before.
Let me just give it a... Yes, we were.
Okay, grand. So we're going to a specific place.
Yeah, we were here last time, April, a year ago.
Yep. So, more stuff for his DBA/Saga type force. There's some interesting stuff in here. So obviously this is the list for his DBA, which also includes prices. So therefore, you can see what this army is going to cost you. So that's a full army for 70, 80, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. So 160 quid, full army, done, dusted, job's good, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. To be fair, 20 quid of that was spears. If you make your own spears out of a brush head, you can save yourself 20 quid, knock it down to 140, bish. Unfortunately, he does list a lot of Siloy and Siloy, but there's some terrific looking stuff. I like the fact, I think he's using the boats from that boat game as his little Greek sort of triremes or whatever they are.
This is 50 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did look a bit small.
You know, it is what it is. You say small, I say compact and bijou, Moston. Compact and bijou. Look, he's got one of those denture brushes that he's using to scrub things.
Why would he use that for?
You know, beats using it on your dentures. But it is still a denture brush. It's got a little back, tiny one. mean,
Oh,
it's
look, there's
a
the
delightful set of stuff.
Excel spreadsheet that
Yeah.
tells you the impact on your wallet.
Impact on your wallet and how many stands you're going to get out of them. But some nice bits and pieces in there. Once again, Little Big Man Studios are responsible for some decals. In this case, quite a lot of what I'm assuming are Theban clubs, although with the piercing through them, they look more like some sort of staff of Asclepios. Could go either way. He's using Horizon Blue. Oh dear, what a shame.
Why is that a shame?
Because I've not long finished painting an entire World War One French army, and if I ever see Horizon Blue again, I can
Is it some kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome?
very much that. Very much that. I do like how
Blue.
he's borrowed an image from one of those digital games to get the cavalry colors. So it must be like Total War or something like that.
Can I just say this beer is quite good?
Oh, you can. Is
This
it a
beer is quite good. I approve.
Okay. But I do like the breakdown he does here with not just what is being put together, but how it performs, both historically and
In game.
in game. In DBA, so you get an idea of how things play. Sometimes some people come into historical wargaming with a dice rolling mindset, and then because they're used to cavalry or bikes or whatever in something like fantasy or 40k behaving in a certain way, and then you go your cavalry charge in and do fuck all damage. It's like, why? What? This makes no sense. You're going, because these work like light cavalry or medium cavalry, and they didn't have the impact of medieval cav, which is how it's modeled in other games. So it's nice that explains that you've got impact and then clash and sustain. So it gives you an idea of how they should perform on the tabletop. I really like the Argonaut-esque hoplites as well, the black and white ones. I think they're Thessalian in his force. Yeah, I think he said. I'm going to squint to see, and I can't be arsed. Anyway, the Argonauts-looking ones, they were great.
I love these turquoise color scheme on the shields.
Well, that presumably that's his Athens with their bold blue type thing.
Yes, Athenian army hoplites.
Yeah, that's Sparta had it nailed on. Everybody went Spartan red, it's all good, and then it's easier to paint other city-states with like a specific theme or color scheme. Well, they are. Mortal Gods, you're right, Pete.
On these, with these, we should have guessed from the start because it's an owl on the shield.
Yeah.
And if I remember my history correct, that's the animal of Athens.
Yes / no. There are two Greek city-states that we know had symbols on their shields. Sparta had the lambda because they were Lacedaemonian, and the Theban sacred band had the club of Heracles, and beyond that, there's no evidence for any other city-states having anything in particular on their shields. So it's just a modern, here's how you make your city-state uniform idea. Because they weren't a paid-for force where everything was provided by the state, they're much more likely to have every fucker have a different symbol on their shield. But it's a easy way of doing a cohesive force without having to worry about it.
Taurus just finished painting a shield boss on a 3mm Celt.
It was very small. Really? You surprised me? I would love it for just the 3mm Celts to have a very, very, very big shield for no reason. The fuck is going on there? Has the sun decided to come back out?
No,
Oh,
that's
fuck.
nuclear
Right off.
explosion.
Oh, that's all right then. Christ almighty.
For a
Fucking
second,
almost 9 o'clock. You can't.
it looked like you were going to ascend just now.
Hmm.
Miniature Jesus goes ping
That's how it
live on
works.
stream. Yeah,
Well,
but
no uniforms, but their shields and cloaks were provided by the state. So in that respect, they were uniform. But not similar to Zulus.
nice work by Draco's.
It's a really nice project as well if you're looking to get a grounding in sort of that era.
Yeah.
That
He's
might be
not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
You don't know. I could be. The only way to find out for certain is check back 3 days after I die. Could go either way.
Make sure he stays nailed to the cross this time.
Keep him down.
Yeah. Let's go on to whoever is next in line to be judged and shot.
Yeah, everybody except the Spartans were citizen armies.
Citizens on patrol.
So,
Doug.
Douglas the Fugless with his saga Undead Vikings, which hopefully will be coming back out very shortly. I don't think the Draugr have appeared yet from Gripping Beast. Although something was added to the catalogue last week, but I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention. Or maybe it was the Draugr and the Goblins still aren't in there yet. Anyway. Doug.
Yeah, there's something growing on this guy. I don't know why.
Well,
has he been laying too long on the grass?
A rolling stone gathers no moss. And a dead Viking archer will occasionally get tufts. Tufty.
Oh, look, he even made a string for the bow.
Oh, yeah. His string is strung. I try to remember because he said what he made it out of, and it was something where I went, what? Oh, that makes sense. It's a bit peculiar.
It looks like a something from an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it wasn't that though. I'm fairly certain it wasn't an actual guitar thread. It was something that was it. It's the tags you get on clothes.
Oh,
you know, the little thing. So it's the little
these annoying plastic tabs.
Well, when you get like socks, and you get them, like 5 pairs, and they're all tagged together. It's that's been used.
Oh, that's an interesting use for it.
Yep. Good times.
Couldn't we have seen this last week? Because I just bought a bunch of socks, so I could have saved them for potential. No, they're gone.
Gone now. Bye.
Never
Shall not see their like again.
And obviously he's been running out of them as well because the last two, excuse me, don't have them.
I mean, the easiest thing to do is just go into a department store and just steal them. There'll be a little cart somewhere where they tag together loose socks and things or re-tag shit, because I know we had them, and they come on a strip of like 50 that you put into like a needle gun, and then you jab the needle through and go tap 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 tap. So you just need to get the strip. It's like a stripper clip. It's very good.
That was onto a good thing.
Very much so.
But Twitch is running at 2 daily at a minute. Okay. I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
I don't know.
A needle gun, isn't that 40k? No, that's a needler is Battletech.
No, there was a needle gun in 40k as well.
Is it? I'm pretty sure they stole that from Battletech because Battletech's older.
Oh, probably. I mean, without doubt. I remember that one, Sancho. In fact, I have a Spartan with a fly on his shield. So it predates. It's not the Spartans. It's the Menelaus Trojan War Spartans when they didn't have a defined thing. So everybody had their own shield designs like the other city-states did, their own heraldry essentially. And he got criticized for having this tiny little, I think it was a fly, tiny little fly painted in the middle of a shield at life size. And other people were saying, well, nobody knows who you are. They won't be able to, there won't be any single combat, or people won't know what you've done. Really, you're hiding who you are, type of thing. And his response was, by the time I get in their face, that fly will look like it's the size of a lion. It's good times. Good time to be a Spartan.
Are these Draugr metal? One James Stockwell asks. I don't know. Potentially.
Who, what? Who, what? Where?
James
what?
wants to know if these Draugr are metal.
Yes, they are metal. It's the range done by Colin Patton for Ragnarok Miniatures. So he's just done a Kickstarter. In fact, it may still be running. If it's not still running, he's just done a Kickstarter with Vikings. But prior to that, he did dwarves with a Nordic kind of look. He did goblins / dark elf, because in Nordic mythology, dark elves are goblins, to go against the dwarfy people. And he did the Draugr, which all match perfectly with. So he's all his ranges. So Conqueror Miniatures have a load of his dwarves that he sculpted previously. Gripping Beast obviously had some of his stuff. Warlord got the Saxon miniature ranges when he sold those. So these scale perfectly with all of those. It's a really nice set of undead. If you fancy playing some fantasy-esque undeadies.
Why do people play fantasy or sci-fi when historical
No idea,
Pete. Tales?
It baffles me.
I'm guessing because
Baffles me to the nth degree.
Because in historical, you get told off on your use of shade of green and buttons you painted.
But you get that in fantasy and sci-fi as well from the same sort of twats.
Yeah, but in fantasy you can tell it's fantasy. Fuck up.
Right, but you can do the same in historical. You can go, where's your evidence that it's not the right color? Habeas corpus, motherfucker.
And he then
show me a 2,000-year-old piece of fucking dyed wool, and I'll call you a cant.
They will take out a picture taken of a photograph out of a book or something.
That's true. Yeah, he did the Vendel ones as well. Although I'm not sure, are they still exempt? Because I couldn't remember seeing them the last time I was on the Vendel website. I'll say they're not. They probably still are somewhere. Anyway.
Yeah, but then again, back to the project. This is a lovely, nice one, running for some time. Even got a golden button. A lazy bastard didn't complete his work.
It's outrageous. Yeah, I think Vendel Miniatures is dead in its arse. It now goes to something about Brazil's gaming market, a thriving hub of opportunity. Yeah. So.
Brazil, great movie.
Yeah, that was it. Sergeant Mess got them and then went away. Cheer.
Things that go away.
Yeah, it's very annoying. There are some amazing stuff that's been fucking consigned to the dustbin.
Historical is great. Just add a pinch of fantasy and it's perfect. In fact, just make it Lord of the Rings.
Well, funny you say that. Colin has sculpted a wizard and 8 other tiny companions in the same historic style. So you too can have your own Tolkien-esque games.
Lovely thing. Where do we go next?
Straight to bed?
No, I still got a can of beer.
Oh, okay then. Go and take a little swing past south of Ireland and Piers.
Hello, Mr. Piers. We're here to annoy you. So again, a bit of saga that has been dormant for 2 years almost.
Yeah, he started painting this during the lockdown period, and like a lot of his stuff, Pierce is big into his old hammer, so he has a lot of old hammer Normans and Vikings kicking around as well. But this is an eclectic mix of tiny fighting men painted to that really fucking high standard that just it grates on me. Oh, what a bastard!
I always
What
wondered.
a complete bastard!
I
I mean,
always wondered
I painted all the shields as well. I can.
the lockdown, is that a lake in Australia?
Could be. Sure, why not?
I came
Follow
from
up
a lockdown under.
the Old Hammer weekend. I would love to go to the Old Hammer weekend. I'm still trying to get Business Daddy to pay for me to go to Lake Geneva for GaryCon, to be brutally honest, for next year's 50th anniversary of D&D.
Oh, that would be so
Oh, it would be fucking amazing. Just go, if anybody wants me, I'll be over there playing old school D&D where, elf and dwarf are a class, not a race. You can be a human or you can be an elf or dwarf. And if you're a human, you can be a barbarian, a cleric, a wizard, or you can be an elf or dwarf. What classes do they get? No, they are the classes. You're an elf or a dwarf. That's your class. Suck it the fuck up.
just send Jerry to GaryCon, strap a camera to his forehead, and then stream this 24/7.
Dog has appeared.
No.
Several of the assassins had needle gun and 40k Zorg. The Evasaur had one specifically, but the old school assassins, before they started making faction houses for them, so the old rogue trader ones, there was the ninja looking fella. He had a needle gun, well, needle / bolter. So yeah, it was good. This is the thing, JMS. All of his painting is really fucking nice.
Yeah, it's
really fucking annoying.
it's repulsive.
I hate him so much. But when you look at the painting, it's the classic historic wargamer style of layers. You've got your 3 or 4 paint layers. It's not pissing around with blending. You do it neatly. You have your shade, you have your medium, you have your highlight color, bish bash bosh, and then you get that really nice contrast. So
yeah, and just look at the inside of that shield. That's more detail on one shield than I have painted on any miniature in my life.
I have some EBOB Normans that I bought for no fucking reason about 5 years ago. I should find them. Where are they? I should not look behind me in case they're behind me. So that would just distract me. But anyway, yeah, it's a really nice set of stuff from Piers as well. I mean, they're just really gorgeous. There's a really good painter. If people are interested in quick, let's say quick-ish. Let's say not quick. Let's say simple / easy. So it might not be the quickest way of achieving a result, but it's fucking low impact. There's a lot of put a color on, throw a wash on, walk away. When you come back, check the wash and maybe throw another wash on if you need to. And if I do this and go, so I'll just throw this in here, just while people are. Crusaders Normans are really nice. They are. That is true. They're chunky funkers. So John Barrett, he paints some stuff. I think he paints some stuff for Vitrix that eventually goes on their website. But Vitrix, for some reason, they send it to him like a week before it comes out, and then he paints it up. And then by the time they get the pictures up, they've already released it. So it's not really ever done in advance. But he has some great. He paint right off the bat. He paints on bare plastic without primer. It's just fucking insane.
Okay, I remember you telling that story once before, because I don't think there are 2 people in the world doing that.
No, God, no. He's mad. However, if you have a look through, at one point he does a thing on. He does some little mini tutorials. One is how he does his skin tone. One is how he does his leather, but another one is how he does the chainmail. And if you can find, in fact, I'll just throw that one straight in there, because the chainmail uses one metallic and then 3 washes, and essentially kind of wet blend shit on there. At least he doesn't paint the eyes. You know, you say that, and yet I know he does. It depends whether or not the eyes need to be seen. So sometimes the eyes get a bit of a paint job on them.
At least the redeeming factor, he doesn't know how to handle his autofocus.
Yeah, nobody needs to know that. But it is literally throw on your metallic, chuck a wash on, fuck the fuck off, come back, your wash is dry, check it and go, do I want to do another wash of this? Do I think it's dark enough yet? Might be, might not be. If it is, then you can go in and chuck some other colors on it. But it gives a really rich looking metallic with different, essentially, once the base coat and wash are dried, then you put other color washes on to give you the differences in tone and hue, so you can have your brown/blue washes on it. And if you're lining up and doing like a unit of 20 or 30, by the time you get to the last one, the first one's dry, and you can get onto step 2 and, you know, work through it that way. His stuff is excellent. Really nice guy as well, which is a benefit, because anytime I've had a chat with him, he's been spot on. I still can't conceive of the fact he doesn't prime, but, you know, works for him. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, like,
not priming really feels wrong on so
oh,
many
so
levels.
wrong. So 100% so wrong. But yeah, it works for him.
But
He
come to
does. He
think of
doesn't.
it,
I don't even think he varnishes them at the end, to be brutally honest. He goes, nah, fuck it, I don't need it. Plastics. They're grand. They don't rub off. Are you
come
sure?
to think of it, I remember my first miniatures I painted, they were technically primed, but just with Chaos Black and brushed on. So
Sure. Why not?
it's
Yep. No primer, no varnish. Just paint it and walk away. My work here is done. That's how that one goes. Anyway, but yeah, Pier stuff is really fucking neat. And if he runs that as Hearthguard, that unit there, then that's 2.5 points in a 6-point game. You're flying. Let's give him a nudge and see if he's going to do any more.
primer is why my painting is crap. Like when cooking sausages, I only just found
Oh,
out you're not supposed to
Not supposed to
pick
pick
them.
them. Fucking Gary Rhodes climbed a cliff face to tell you that. JMS, did you not listen to him? The trick is not to prick them, he said. Specure.
No one on earth will stop you from priming.
That is true. That was when was it Charlie had come over for Specure, and they just released the resin, and they're going, you can just paint straight on it. And going, I'm sure you can. Fucking not stopping me, chummy boy.
Crispin wants to know, is there a siege campaign to fight a castle?
Not. I have first and second edition, so I'm going to preface it with that. There is a first edition attack a fortified structure kind of scenario. It's not a full-on medieval siege because obviously it's an earlier period. And then in Etius and Arthur, which the second edition version is Age of Invasions, they again have fortified structures that you can attack in that. But again, not full-on. I've brought siege towers and siege machines to take the tower down. It's not that kind of, you're only ever really playing skirmishy type things. You're never playing big full-on battles and sieges and stuff. So Soldiers of God is good for sieges. Clash of Spears has got a PDF that had a solo and a siege version in it, which is good. But neither really, just kind of do that. Yeah, just kind of going over the wall. Hey, you know, Floyd Gets Pissed. It's my favorite TV show.
So after all these sagas and clashes, where do we dig our heels in next?
Like Brian May, we go off for a bit of badger baiting. That's what he does. Barons War. I need to look at the Barons War rules. I haven't looked at them, Pete. At some point I will. I don't know. So many things to do, so little time. Anyway, weirdly, I was thinking about a dozen squared earlier, because occasionally we used to see him pop in during like break times, but I haven't seen him in a while. Which is a crying shame.
Yeah, especially since he really does nice paint jobbies on his badger he borrows.
Badger
Look at the
Rose.
dress.
Pete, you can't be updating pictures of your temple into the Clash of Spears face page while we're doing this. Also, what's it say on the side of your temple? Because I see graffiti there. Sabine, Kalos, Herme, Ross, Te, Ame. What? Sonasas, Overasal. Who?
Early version of Ti Amo. Ti Amo.
Lesson. But yeah, Birds and Badgers. I hear there may be games of Birds and Badgers in August. If the plan happens and Ben comes over, Shay also has Burry Badgers, and we were talking about playing some games on camera.
I think if Ben is in the studio and you don't play Barrels and Badgers and or Lord of the Rings, that would be so much a crime against.
I'll stop you there. We won't be playing Lord of the Rings.
You may not, but maybe Shay will.
No.
Though there aren't
She does
undead
get
Egyptians in it, so probably not.
Oh, fucking filthy dry undead. Oh my god, the worst thing.
Why are they the worst?
I won't get print.
They have their own toilet paper with them, so.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's a. I mean, the sculpts themselves are really nice. The fact that they're, I think, mostly, if not exclusively, one piece. I don't even think you have to glue the shields on. They're all made with that idea that you just buy them, and they're like you buy them, clean them, prime them, paint them. No assembly required. So they've got an awful lot of interesting sculpts while staying within that one piece sort of setup.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Oh, I Lord of the Rings. I won't play them. Fuck them. Oh. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Can you see what I see? Is it the mode line on the hat? Can you see what I see? At what point does a zombie stop being a zombie and become a skeleton? I think it's when there's no longer any flesh on the bones.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think. At which point they become better, more nimble. I think they're slowed down an awful lot by the wet flesh slopping off them, the tendons and stuff pulling them back.
The second he doesn't feel the need to consume brains anymore, then that's when he's getting a zombie. I love the lighting effect on this one.
Some sort of fire-wielding
lunatic
weasel, is it?
Yep. Or otter, even? I don't know. Otter mage is finished.
It's otter. Okay, there you go. Better again. I really like the cloak. It's got a cloak full of stars.
He could have made the flame watery and make him a waterbender.
Curvious high. Oh yeah. As long as there's any flesh still, as long as there's any meat in the bone. The only thing Skellybobs are allowed to have is the occasional eyeball. Because we all know at least one skeleton with an eyeball still in the head, despite the fact it should be the first thing gone. Don't know why that is. But as long as there's flesh in the bones, or a kidney or testicle hanging on in there for dear life,
oh
then,
god!
then the cow's a zombie.
Now I have images in my head of an army of skeletons that are just decomposed from the waist up, and all the dangly bits are still
Then they're not an army of skeletons, they're an army of zombies. As long as the dangly bits are still dangling away.
And now your opponent is Justin. Fight my army of zombies with dangly bits.
As he did say recently, he's got much better. He hasn't done that in a year or two. But then I think that's just because he hasn't bought a model that has dangly bits in a year or two.
If it wasn't such an investment, I'd send him the Boris from Andy, the Not Safe for Work edition.
Warren has that.
Yeah, I know. Warren bought that after he asked
Kit.
for recommendations for the role-playing group years ago.
I know. I missed my mouth. Son of a bitch.
Not Safe for Work Undead Army. Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah. Some really nice stuff with what doesn't squares work. There's a really nice beaver. Let's say beaver.
I like the adder. The sculpt itself is such an awesome job.
The fact it has no hands, it's just wrapped around the staff as it comes at you like Cleopatra.
The only snake that's looking more weirdly interesting is the one from the animated Walt Disney movie.
Go to sleep.
No, in
or the Robin Hood one.
When he's being pissed off and he lies in his cup going with nothing but his body. That's just genius animation work.
It's at one point he's in a basket and he loops.
Yeah, that's the second I mean.
Yeah, he's resting on his hands like that, but he's not really resting on his hands because he doesn't have hands or arms.
Yeah, and he's looking very pissed.
Two coils of his own tail, which I mean, back in the day when Disney actually had animators who could animate. Yeah, there's some cracking stuff in there. It makes me wonder what the game's like. Not so much that I would buy anything. I'll wait and see. There's a really nice beetle using flip paint as well, by the way.
I'm pretty sure Ben will happily teach you.
I'm sure he will. Yeah. But I'll be waiting for him. I'll show him. I'll show all of him at the Scottish Squirrel Warrior, who I think is wearing McCabe fucking tartan as well.
Well, where?
Technically it's not, but it's very fucking close.
Beavis and Butthead.
Peter Ustinov as the king. Yep.
Yeah, let's venture on to the next before people get really odd.
Too late.
Too late? Too little too late.
Yep.
Perfect shot and even more Burrows and Badgers by Dane001.
There is nothing like a Dane, nothing in the world.
This is again something that is irritating. Obviously, Wolf Time Gaming is a more or less active YouTube channel, and he just stopped updating his project for some odd reason.
I don't know. Maybe he ran into the project system. I mean, I can't blame anyone who ran into the project system and went, you know what, I can't be arsed anymore.
It can be a bit sometimes.
Although, if I have a look at his YouTube, yeah, he's not done anything that hasn't been...
Is it inactive?
2 years ago, he was doing an awful lot of computer games. Although, so
maybe it's just because of the channel logo, because this howling dog has been used by so many.
Oh, there's quite a few people use that wolf. Yeah. No, there's not been anything really in a year, and the last time it was clips from the World of Warcraft movie, which I put it to you, should never be used as an example of anything ever, except maybe how not to make a movie. Anyway.
Yeah. That's one of the movies I highly regret watching.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further. I'm just going to drift off. Anyway, let's get back to the friggin' squirrel.
Show me his channel, you bastards. Epic ground battles, Warcraft 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
this doesn't look like any wargaming related stuff is still being done.
No. 2 years ago, he was playing computer games. There's Babylon 5 at least, so that's good.
It looks like he's just clipping things together.
Sure, why not?
Look, there's Last
World of
Starfighter.
Warcraft movie or Damn Rangs of Power? Oh. I'm going to go with Crispin's choice of Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh, no.
If I had to watch either World of Warcraft, Rings of Power, or Two Girls, One Cup, then fetch me those ladies. It's the least shitty of all three of those choices.
Ooh. Also, it's the most predictable and honest.
It's the most honest. I mean, there were just so many problems with. There were so many problems with both Warcraft and them Ranks of Power. Plot-wise, I don't even. There's no point in even talking about casting or anything else because people will go, blah blah blah, casting. Couldn't give a fuck. Costumes were better in Warcraft than in them Ranks of Power, but both of them had Jesus the plot holes in them. Fuck me.
Can you even call them plot holes at that point? Aren't those just plot black holes?
They fucking distort time and space. That is true. I mean, them Ranks of Power. The fact Sauron was sitting on a fucking shipwreck and just happened to be in the way of fucking Gladriel whenever she decided to swim a fucking ocean, and then decided to go back with her. That was his plan, was it? To be on a shipwreck and hopefully somebody will come by who can introduce him to a master fucking smith. A master smith who, by the way, doesn't know what fucking alloys is. What have you spent your immortality doing? Smithing and working metals. Great. Do you know you can mix two metals together? Oh my fucking God. This opens up a whole new world to me. I never thought of mixing two metals before. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Jesus
I think
Christ.
In some way, the Warcraft movie is better for me because I had no expectations whatsoever. Because
Warcraft's hot garbage as well.
Yeah, but at least it's entertaining while being hot garbage, whilst
Oh,
Ring of Power was just
entertaining.
boring.
Oh, that might be because you had no idea of any of the backstory. And it's once again, it's a prime example of a story exists. I was talking with Carlos from Corvus Belli about the three G.I. Joe movies, and the third one being the worst by a country mile, Snake Eyes. And they made up all this shit about him being an undercover agent working in a fucking fish gutting plant and all this sort of shit. But there was an origin story for Snake Eyes. They did it in the comics. He came home from Nam. His family were dead. His little Japanese American buddy from Nam went, fuck it, you should come back to Japan with me, to the family business. There was the whole training thing. He learned to be a ninja. Then there was the fact that his dad, Storm Shadow's dad, was more fond of Snake Eyes and was, working more closely with her. There was a whole fucking thing, and then Zardan fucking killed him while he was pretending to be Snake Eyes and set Storm Shadow up, and there was this whole bitter rivalry. Just make that fucking. They've written the story. The story's fantastic. Make that into a film. No, we can't do that. Likewise with Warcraft, they've made all these fucking stories. They've made these bits of lore. It goes blah 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 blah, and they go, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to add this extra random wank in. You go, but you don't have to add that in. It's not as good as the story that already exists. Why not just film? It's like somebody decides to make a new Shakespeare film, right? This is the best way I can put it, because they keep looking at it and going, well, people know where that goes. If they were going to make a Star Wars Knights of the Republic film, they couldn't use the story from Knights of the Republic because people know what Knights of the Republic is. Well, why, when they make a new version of fucking Hamlet or the Merchant of Venice or any of these, at no point does somebody go, well, we know what the Merchant of Venice is. Instead of having him try and do somebody for a pound of flesh, let's make him a coke dealer who's just trying to get him to get some pimps. Because that's not the fucking Merchant of Venice, you cunts.
Didn't they do similar things with Romeo and Juliet? In multiple iterations.
So. There've been multiple iterations of most of them. But they've always had, the story has always been the story. Two feuding families, or even if you go to the Leonardo da Brussels Sprout-Faced Boy version, there have been it was two warring gangs rather than two warring families. But apart from moving it to South Central LA and making them gangs, they kept everything else the same, and it made no difference. Just fucking tell the stories people want, you cunts. Or, and hear me out here, make a new story. Don't put the fucking name on it. Don't go, this is Warcraft. Just go, this is some sort of random shit that we've cobbled together. Or this isn't them Rangs of Power based on Appendix 15 where they have orcs.
Imagine they would have called the Warcraft movie just Orcs and Humans.
Orcs and Humans. Fucking do that. Go with that.
Everybody could tell it's adjacent to Warcraft, but it's called just Orcs and Humans, so who cares?
100% couldn't give a tinker's jizz if they did whatever with it. But it's whenever they go, it's going to be this, and then they release it, and it's not this. It's not even that. It's chat. I think it's the best way of putting it. They've just hoarded themselves out. I'm glad a lot of the writers are being rounded up and eaten at the moment as part of the writer's strike.
Which the Lion King, great Shakespeare film, improved on the board with the use of an Elton John.
Yeah. I mean, there you go, because that was one where it was just Hamlet. They didn't say it was Hamlet. They didn't do anything. It's just the Hamlet story retold as fucking tigers. That's grand. The alternative is they then go, we're going to release The Lion King. And they've already got that Hamlet-esque story there for The Lion King. But this time around, he's not a lion. He's not a king. He's a drug-using emu. And his friend's a fucking zebra. And
why is the emu using drugs?
Because he fucking loves the smack. Can't get enough of it. And their idea is to get a big score by, stealing an armored van in South Africa. And that's the new version of Lion King.
Oh, true. Terry Pratchett did a great job with Weird Sisters. That's a very, very nice adaptation.
Yep. But at no point has anybody ever tried to sell Weird Sisters as, Hamlet. He never went, this is my totally unique thing. But now if somebody comes along and goes, we're going to make a version of Terry Pratchett's Weird Sisters. Or if, for example, somebody come along and go, we're going to make a version of Terry Pratchett's Guards into a TV series. And then they start changing everything. And they end up being in no way, shape or form anywhere resembling Guards. See that right there? That's what I'm talking about. It's fine using other things and making them your own. I have no problem with that. It's when somebody comes along and says, we're making this, and then they just take the name and nothing. Wicker Man with fucking Nicholas Coppola is a particular fucking... I mean, The Wicker Man's a great film, and then they didn't even want The Wicker Man. The movie studio was buying something else, and they bought the rights to it, and as part of the deal, they got The Wicker Man and two other named films foisted on them. So essentially it was like, well, we can't not buy this because we want this, but it means we're going to end up with the Wicker Man rights. Oh fuck it, we'll just make a new version of the Wicker Man, and then you end up with Not the Bees, Nicholas Coppola screaming like a fucking gypsy. For fuck's sake. And the Not the Bees wasn't even in the fucking film. They cut that. It's a fucking deleted scene.
Inspired by 1984. Not the rats, not the rats.
Oh, 1984. Fucking get right into room 101 there. Suck it the fuck up. Could you imagine if they made 1984 today? There wouldn't be a room, there wouldn't be rats, there wouldn't be fucking anything. I fucking hate them all. Oh, God.
Speaking of hating things, let's go and hate on
Oh,
somebody else's project.
son of a bitch.
Pulse is up. We're all awake now.
Oh.
Oathsworn. I wonder. Is this the same and the one?
I think they're named after the game Oathsworn, which is, a fantastic game about attacking a rat monster in a barn or something while James Cosmo rants at you in Scottish.
Just look at
Have I
me.
seen the news that Green Skull Goblins go live tomorrow? Oh yes, because I've backed all of their previous Kickstarters and got multiple emails telling me it was coming, and I was like, notify me on launch. It looks like more dwarves and more goblins in there. Fucking can't wait.
Green
Copy
Skull
the Toad
Goblins.
Manifesto in room 101.
Should I be aware of those?
Who? What? Who? No.
The ones that Tomas of 85 just mentioned. Is that something?
I mean, hang on a second. If I set that there, what is that? Is that a Thunderstrike Manticore? Let's not set that there. Let's put that where I can not lose it. There's goblins with the big noses in this box.
I remember.
There you go. That's handy. That saves me having to open this box. This is the third one, actually. From Vittorio. The Terrible Kid stuff. Arr. What is left in here? Oh, that's all the undead stuff. I really need to do something with them. Let's not worry about that. Look, hang on a minute. There's my little fridge magnet. Oh, fuck me. I don't have fingernails. And that's a magnet on a magnet. Oh, no.
Extra strong.
Like a fucking tree boar mint. It's extra strong. Where's my knife? Oh, it's in my pocket. Hang on.
Oh, there will be blood tonight?
No, there won't be. Give it up, you bastard. Well,
yeah, I remember those. And they do another Kickstarter tomorrow?
Yep.
Oh,
but the most of their Kickstarters have been goblins, but the last one had some dwarves in it based on One Piece.
That's an animation. Yep.
Okay, yes, that I think that's what it was based on. So that, well,
about little pirates and finding that one treasure.
I have fucking no idea. It does, however, contain a Judge Dredd on a jet ski. So I think the new one is a mixture of dwarves and goblins.
So I need to
stop buying them and paint them and do something with them. And I did say that to Vittorio, but I am still buying them.
So I need to stay clear of Kickstarter tomorrow.
Yep. It's comes from Italy, so there wouldn't be any Brexit price increase or anything like that.
Oh?
Really, you'd be saving money by buying it. Anyway.
That's a wording I never trusted.
Yep. Well,
saving money by spending money, that never works.
Yep, does work.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
No.
Kill you. The dartboard's great, by the way. Have you listened to the Tim Vine YouTube channel where he talks about all the numbers on the dartboard?
No.
It was great. Because I'm a big fan of Tim Vine and I subscribed to his channel. So for a month, well, not for a month, for 21 days, for 3 weeks, every night he uploaded a number from the dartboard. So he started at 1 and he talked about 1, double 1 and treble 1, when you would use 1, the problems with 1, where it sits on the dartboard, issues you may run into because of 1. And then the next night he did the same for 2 and 3, and he went all the way around, including the bull. He did do inner and outer together. He counted the bull as 1, not 2 different ones, but it was fucking great.
Why would somebody do that?
Because Tim Vine really likes his darts. He had 2 guests on as well.
What?
Didn't get the guests until like midway through, type of thing. It was like, I know I've been doing this for like 8 days, and I keep saying there will be guests, and there haven't been any guests, but tomorrow night I'm going to have a guest. So It was
Oh,
great.
Yeah. Can I just say this board looks lovely, and I hate him.
Oh yeah, and look at the lovely feltness of it all. Except, I don't think it is felt.
I hate it so
It's been
much.
painted. Oh my god, goosebumps! That, by the way, that eviction notice slash board's worth of posters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's being stolen. Just saying it. I know there's a few other projects in the system where people have included PDFs of pages of things like that, so you can just print them out yourself, which is great. But this is good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can see why. This is just that's way up my alley, and I still need to finish my brawl, my tavern brawl.
Mm.
It's sitting in the garage, which is clean now, so I potentially have some space of some description.
Hey, there you go. There's Joe
Also,
painting away.
Also, it's warm enough to be in the garage to do stuff. I'm running out of excuses.
Sorry, I'm just reading Doug's Tim Vine like one-liners. Fucking legend. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, some really useful tips as well for terrain painting in here. So the muted colors, washes, mixtures, sponging, all of that.
And
It's nice when somebody...
nothing is bought. It's all built.
Yeah.
I hate.
Well, I mean, presumably all the materials were bought, and
yeah,
Joe didn't just thieve them from somewhere. But you never know. But look, doing the tiny little stools and the tiny little tables and the tiny little flames on the tiny little logs and the tiny little chimney.
I hate you, Mr. Oathsworn.
Well, it was Joe, so Mrs. Oathsworn. But
what ifs? Oathsworn family.
You can hit Joe for the work she's done there, and I'm trying to remember. It's not Matt. Well, you can hate him for sculpting. Fuck is his name? Oh, Ben would know. I'm not going to rack my brains trying to think. It's been a long fucking day.
Yeah, it's
been a lot of fighting in Stalingrad.
Yeah, and we just
Michael. That's it. I knew it started with a fucking M. Anyway.
Let's go and see the last project for the day, and then we call it the same.
Sure, why not? Let's do that.
Very hairy brains. And he does a billion suns. And there's one point in this project that caught my eye, and I barely could contain laughter. Can you guess what it is?
Is it when he said he was inspired by me?
Nope.
Because that would emit laughter. Because I mean, I started doing mine and then just stopped.
A question of scale.
There is no scale in a billion suns. For fuck's sake, I will catch you.
Yeah, but he's referring to how big do I print these? Fucking the big and the small as you want, because there is no scale.
Why can't people understand this? What is wrong with the world?
It's just, it's a question of scale. No, it's not. Do as you please.
How big do you want them? Do you want everything the same size?
It's just, and it's a lovely project with making his acrylic basing with fire arcs, and it's just nice.
That's the hardest fucking part, to be brutally honest, because a Billion Suns has a 180-degree arc to the front, and then you have a
small arc on the back.
No, you've 180 for like repelling fire, but then you've got an actual frontal arc of 20. Is it 25? I think it's like 25 degrees. It's very annoying because I put my stuff on hex bases and it doesn't fit. Anyway, well, it would have been nice if I'd just gone and just drew lines from the center point to the corners of my hex bases, but I can't do that.
180 degrees auxiliary fire, 45 degrees for
40,
primary
there you go,
weapon.
45. So yeah, which doesn't work on hex bases because everything's a 60-degree angle.
Should be an octagonal base.
It should, but I don't have those and I'm not doing them. I did play a game with octagonal bases for Infinity, if soap's about. I don't think I can tell anybody about it yet, but there's a ship-to-ship combat naval game licensed from Infinity that's coming this year that uses both vectored movement and a bridge command system like the old Star Trek Mega game. Steve, it's fucking amazing. It's great. You allocate all your resources and then you start doing vectored movement, donutting around your opponent. Fucking great. Love it a bit.
Does it have a specific scale? I guess it will be.
It probably does. Well, everything's scaled together. Did I see the models though? I've got pictures of them, mate. Yeah.
One banana to the light year.
Not even already seen the models. Played with demo and absolutely fucked a Hu-Ching frigate by driving a Morat cruiser right up its shit. And then fucking it. Really, it's a really fun game. And I'll go one. Oh, do I have them here?
Oh,
I did have them here earlier. So, they obviously Takure uses metal models, but in the last Takure Kickstarter, they had a stretch goal as one of their figures in SEOcast, and they give me 2 of the models, so I could have a look at them because I don't know if they're going to be. They're currently looking at whether or not they'll make them in metal or through Zenith, or if they'll go to this other company to do the SEOcast production to keep the costs down. But the models were really nice. It's like a surfboarding person. It's around here somewhere.
Nick from Grey Primer. Jerry operates in a world that is NDA adjacent.
They didn't get me to sign anything, so fuck them. They'll be telling everybody in like 3 weeks' time anyway, so okay.
If you don't want me to tell everybody, don't show me.
I can show. Actually, have you seen the XLBS from last week's? At one point, I bring up a ship and scroll in and scroll out, going, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's one of the ships that nobody's getting to see because it's not out yet. I can't tell anybody about it.
Well, you didn't tell. You just showed.
I think that's a Toha fucking battleship with like 12 fucking shields to the front. Anyway, so I've seen the Toha, Morat, Yu-Ching, and Pano ships. So those 4, and really enjoyed the game. I can see an awful lot of people who only understand games through the medium of Games Workshop and Fantasy Flight Games X-Wing getting confused and scared.
Why?
Because like Infinity, you think about the game. You don't just go, oh, I'm going to put the widget behind it and move forward in a curve, and now I'm going to shoot. You go, I'm moving full thrust in this direction. If I want to go that direction, then I'm going to have to put energy into turning left twice and then putting enough into my forward thrusters and right hand thrusters to arrest my speed and turn me, and then I can now pump. So yes, so there's physics, vectored movement involved, or once you get going, you never have to worry about movement again. You just occasionally just pump some into turning, so you just plow forward, just keep spinning slightly as you move past your opponent and start shooting into the brum hole. It's great.
It's just like full thrust.
Yes, exactly like full thrust, but because I was thinking of full thrust when I was playing it. But it has octagonal bases, so when you turn, you always turn. By JavaScript, you always turn based on a facing of the base. So if you turn chunk, and then you turn chunk, and then you turn chunk, and then you turn chunk. So you can't do partial turns within it. So it's I'm not going to say restricted there, but you know the way sometimes it will say you can turn up to 90 degrees or you can turn up to 80. In this, if you want to turn, you are turning the full whatever degree facing of that base is. But even then, it's not a major issue. But yeah,
I,
it's really good.
I can't see why people would get confused about this, because this is how physics works. So
Because if you turn your ship to face a new direction,
if
you don't
you're
go,
going backwards.
you don't go in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yes, it is how physics works, but it's not how most people think about gaming. Because if in X-Wing you turn your ship to face that way,
yeah, it just goes that
then
way.
you go that way. Or,
That's
you know,
because X-Wing is based on a gaming system that's a World War II fighter
yes,
flying in
exactly.
atmosphere.
And most ship combat games in space don't bring inertia into it at all.
Didn't what's its face?
No.
Battlestar Galactica use
Oh, I've
inertia?
never played Battlestar Galactica, so I'll say maybe.
Because that's the odd thing. The original TV series didn't have inertia in their space fighty things.
Yeah,
The reboot had, and the game is based on the reboot. So I guess the game would have had inertia.
I've no idea. I can barely remember that Battlestar had a game. It was so it appeared and disappeared in a blink of the eye, and
A
and no
short-lived one, he
at no
says.
point did any shops actually stock it, as far as I can tell. But every other ship combat game you can think of, any of the ones that have been going for a while, so the Star Trek, Star Wars, none of them have vectored movement. Uh,
Yeah, that's true.
UW Silent Death didn't. No, Silent Death didn't. Battlefield Gothic definitely didn't, because it was just epic Armageddon Titans in space. Yeah, so. But yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying there's not gravity as a factor. I'm just saying we were playing on a big open bit of space where there was none. There were no planetary bodies close by to worry about. Also, a really nice thing they do is, because again, obviously, don't tell anyone. So there's a wee, you've got like a heads-up display for your bridge, which is great. When you're playing the game, that's hidden until the strategy phase is, or sorry, the tactical phase is over, and then you reveal it. So there's a secondary little square board which you put a pin in to show your inertia, the direction and speed at which you're moving, and there's like different bands. So little, it's covered in little holes, and you've got a little peg. That's open information, so your opponent knows where that ship is going,
And how
speed
fast?
and vector. Now he doesn't know what you're going to do about it, but he knows where you should end up. So that's open information. So there's a bit of bluffing going on, or thinking going, well, is he going to continue on that, or is he going to attempt to arrest it, or is he going to, if I move to intercept, will he already have moved in a different direction? So blah. But then whenever you come to fire certain weaponry, like point to point weaponry, you put a little red peg in for their vectored movement, and then you measure. So if you're both moving in the same trajectory at the same speed, you then take like a ruler and measure across the square. Obviously, you can potentially be side by side or right on top of each other, so there's no modifiers. You're moving at the same speed and same direction. But if they're moving at a completely different speed and a different direction, it becomes harder to hit. So that's, you don't measure where you are on the table. You measure the range of the weapon on the table, but you measure the speed and direction here for how difficult it's going to be to hit you on that little. It's called something like a thingy, something. Watch him do dad. I can't remember. It's
This sounds way too interesting for my pockets.
ships have engines and directional thrusters. Yep, you've got four aft, left and right thrusters, and then you've also got maneuvering thrusters. And to activate any of them, you have to allocate energy from your batteries. So
So you
if you
basically can do a donut around a target while always pointing at them.
fuck yeah.
Oh, that's great.
You also have to allocate where your crew are going, so your crew could be going to targeting or to damage control or what have you. Set of B5 space rules that use full thrust. I have them behind me. It's called Babylon Wars. It's on my bottom shelf there, but you won't be able to see because my camera points nowhere near it.
Also, because you're having a horrible painting in the background.
What do you mean horrible painting? You saying Hitler wasn't a good painter?
Yes.
Fuck you. You
Be
can't.
my guest.
You can still guess the. I think that all of the ship profiles for Babylon Wars are still up online. Just so you can download all of the ship stats and layouts, loadouts, and I think the rules might be up there as well. But
So
anyway, yeah. So
this
don't worry about
game,
it.
when will be it? When will we learn more about it?
Oh, I don't think you're going to hear about it until third week in July,
Oh,
maybe the fourth week actually. There's
oh.
an Infinity theme week coming. Is that where my Narn Sun tourists? Oh yeah. That's exactly where they're from, Demon. From my old Babylon Wars days. Yeah, there's an Infinity theme week for whatever the new book is called. I can't remember. Soap. Have they announced what the book's called yet?
Didn't Infinity just make some kind of weird newsletter about toy soldiers?
I don't pay attention. I think so. Okay, right. So after the End Song theme week, then from Infinity, which Soap assures me that is already out there, and therefore I can mention that. Then the week after that, I think there's going to be a chat video about the company because they do Takure, which was originally going to be or not Infinity, be an Infinity Universe license thing, and then decided not to. They just made their own. So it's Affinity adjacent cyberpunk sports rugby game, which I played and was a lot of fun, even though I knew nothing about rugby. It's probably why it was a lot of fun. And then
Yeah, Joy Toy.
after,
Infinity Corvus Belly Joy Toys.
sure. And then the week after that, so it must be the week of Gen Con, the Acheron's Fall video is going to come out, which is just a very basic game with those 4 ships with none of the special cards or any shit like that. It's just me and Axel playing to go over the basic sort of rules. Because I think they're taking Acheron's Fall to Gen Con, which is tied into Infinity because I think that's a planet that's going to feature heavily in the book as well. So
€134.
Wow, you could get 2 Primaris lieutenants for that.
€97 for one frickin'. Are you serious?
I think they probably are. I don't think they're 25mm models, to be fair. I think they're big stupid models.
That's insane.
Taco holder definitely does. Well, you wouldn't, Soup. Pretty sure you probably already 3D printed one. No. Toha, Soup, Toha. I could tell you all about all sorts of stuff, so but unfortunately I can't because of the strict NDAs I probably am under.
Well, I'm not.
I've seen some pictures of miniatures. I probably can't tell you those either. I've seen some miniatures. Who's that guy with that shield?
Ships burning at the Tannhauser Gate.
Sea beams glittering around me at the Tannhauser Gate. So attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Did you know it was 41 years old over the weekend?
La 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 la. I'm not hearing you.
Blade Runner was released on the 25th, I think. So Sunday was its 41st anniversary. Man.
Just yesterday, somebody mentioned, yeah, people were talking about things 30 years ago, and I was thinking about 1970. No,
Yeah,
they're
well,
talking
well, it would
about
be. No,
1993.
1990s was only 10 years ago. I was
Oh,
thinking about
fuck.
running the Blade Runner director's cut, final cut in the House of Order, hashtag Best House this
That's the
Saturday.
one I saw in the movies, in the theater. Way back when.
You're right, Christmas. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of what I was doing. Obviously, I can't tell you about any of that, so forget I said that. And certainly don't go back and look at the Weekender where I scroll in back on that ship. So
And don't look at my comment because I'm pretty sure I put a timestamp of that in there.
did you? Oh,
Yes, I did.
Yeah, don't look at that. None of that means anything. Don't worry about any of that, folks. Just move along. Move
Well,
along, people.
while people are not looking, I'm going to not look if I actually. I think I did that because I remember being violently sick about having seen the camera going all wobbly.
I was going wobbly. It's just moving in and out. Oh, somebody's doing the Kings of War Northern Alliance Army. So I was going to go and look for it, so but I'm being distracted by Kings of War, so that's not my fault. That's everybody else's fault, but not my fault.
Where's my bloody comment? Give me my comment.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Maybe I didn't. Well, guessing.
Did anyone see how guilty Justin looked at the mention of the dwarf Brock Riders? Nope, you didn't. You didn't link it. You didn't timestamp it.
I'm pretty sure I wanted to. Well, I didn't. Or maybe my comment has been edited. Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, it would, because none of us can be arsed doing it.
Well, at some point,
Oh,
Ben did.
it's doing it. Yeah, but probably only because you were calling people cunts. Were you calling Oathsworn people cunts? You can't.
Oh, I don't think it was about Oathsworn. I guess it was just me
Jesus,
swearing.
Holy fuck, Bex, that is a lot of neutrals. 2, 4, 5. Okay, 9. So 3 regiments. Going for the blue neutral. I've decided I'm not going to do. I'm going to go. Have you ever seen those monkeys that have got like vivid orange fur and blue faces, like pastel blue faces? That's how I'm going to do my snow trolls. Just saying, just in case you're wondering.
But would they still be snow trolls if they weren't white?
Yeah. Should there be a chair right now? No, he's still trying to work out how things work. It was just after I finished showing off my hobby because it was the last image in my folder. I was just like, I'm just going to scroll in and out of that. So it would have been before we went to anything else.
I thought it was just at the end of the show for some odd reason.
Oh no, I think it's center mass. Oh, maybe not.
Could be.
I don't know. Well, if you find it, you find it. If you don't, you don't. Don't worry about it.
Just be a member, subscribe to the Discords and everything else, and maybe some.
Oh yeah, I literally came up on it, and as it came up, I just moved away from it.
I was under the.
What's
the thing about the 60?
Thought I was being sarcastic at Justin as well, but I can't remember being sarcastic at Justin.
16 victory points. Felt like taking candy from a kid. Come on, speed up. Speed up. Speed this up.
Is there speed? You do speed. Oh, you can't. Look at that. Wow.
Or thought I?
I don't know.
This
is so weird. I should never listen to myself. Certainly not when I'm speaking like a chipmunk.
It would work better if Vimeo had the same shortcuts as YouTube, because then I could just skip in 10 seconds intervals. But since they don't use... Oh, hold on.
Did you see it? It's somewhere between 35 and 40 minutes. So you went up.
38:22.
Oh, there you go then. Look, don't worry, everyone. Just because you can no longer get new stuff for the whoever the fuck it is, Toha. I don't know.
The
Doesn't
base
mean
looks
you
a
don't.
bit odd at first sight.
It's octagonal. There's your arcs of fire. Every arc is 90 degrees. Bish bish bish.
The only
Right.
arc I need is the Ark of the Covenant.
Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Jones!
They were very, very new prototypes. So new, I think they'd only got the prototype made up a few days before they came over, so they spent those few days painting like Billy-O. It's like, oh,
So let's not look at this anymore, because it's highly illegal to look at images.
I honestly, I don't think Ramon would
And
mind
don't clip this.
if people knew that it was coming. To be brutally honest, I believe they are taking it to Gen Con, so you'll get a first look with us in July. In Gen Con, they'll be demoing it, and then I think talking about it more in August, and then I think going to Kickstarter in September. I think that's what he said. The idea was that people would see it, would know it, would have a chance to look at it before the Kickstarter comes out, which is just mind-blowing for me, because there's so many companies that go, we're doing a Kickstarter, we want it to come out the day of the Kickstarter. Well, okay, so nobody gets a chance to see what the gameplay is like until you launch. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for them. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't feel that's right, but then again,
Tell you
what do I know?
Tell you what,
I'm-
Morat were fucking filth as well.
I'm not a business owner, so
And I'm not saying I definitely did this, but I accidentally fired a rake of torpedoes into the Morat face, and Morat was on my side. When you're working with vectored movement, you have to be very careful about where torpedoes are going, because your other ships may drift into them if you're not careful.
so
I'm
you're
just
saying
saying.
friendly fire is an option.
Friendly fire is 100%. I did ask at the start whether or not it's possible, or had anybody shot themselves with their own torpedoes, and they said no. I'm going, oh well. It's the
Well,
first
then you
time.
haven't done it right.
First time for everything, but unfortunately, at no point did I manage to get ahead of my torpedoes to hit myself.
Ah, nice. I'm not going to let you kill me. I'm going to take my full salvo of anything to the face myself.
Just gonna get plasma in the face. Pew 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 pew. Yeah. Anyway, so I digress. So that isn't. Don't worry about that. Nothing to see here. Move along, people. So we don't need to worry about Endsong or Akron's Fall, because none of that's out yet.
Also, talking about faced, I'm thinking to start. If I'm feeling a little shit-faced,
Shit-faced.
a wee bit. I may
Frisk.
have had one can too many.
And no, too many troopers. 6 more vodka gin play. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm in there. I see it all the time. I'm really hoping I can get Liam across from Scotland to take a look at Clan Wars with him. Tricky.
Oh, Demon Step, if you had me drunk, I wouldn't be able to talk.
He would be shit-faced and frisky.
I would just be grinning like an idiot and giggling all the time. And potentially showing off weird stuff on the internet that I personally find funny. That might
we
or
all
might
find
not
it funny.
offend anybody.
Where did the Poseidon come from your fountain, Pete? By the way. Or, well, it's Rome, so it's probably not Poseidon. Neptune?
I guess.
Just giggling now. Giggly shits. Anywho, right. I think we're probably done for the night.
Pete isn't with us anymore.
He was there a minute ago. Rumbly, is that Infinity? No. But it is licensed from Corvus Belli, so it's in the Infinity universe. But it's a naval spaceship combat game. But it's coming from a different company. If I find the skateboarder called Pal, I'll put some pictures in, because I know obviously you hate SEOcast soup. So the ship may go SEOcast simply for cost. But I don't know who's producing it. But it looks well. The two I got are both decent quality. They brought like 6 of them. Just grabbed 2 at random. Anyway, I'm gonna stop looking behind me, because clearly they're not behind me, because I've tidied that desk because I was filming, so I know they're not behind me. I'm hoping inspiration will hit me and I'll know where the fuck I put them.
Still haven't bought any of the new Sirecast. Well, I wanted to say I have some. Yes, the Harrisonby Goulds. They were Sirecast. They were nice.
Yeah, but there's levels of nice. You've got to break it in between. Yeah, it works for me, and
also,
and if this is not perfect, I can't paint this, and I'll cut you all.
I'm just reminded of something. A question I was going to ask you last week, but you weren't here.
I wasn't here. I was
yes.
Weirdly, I was up filming with Carlos about Infinity Endsong, which may or may not be introducing new rule called reinforcements.
Skellybobs using 20 or 25 mil square bases?
20s.
Okay, so I fucked it up.
You do you. All depends. I mean, chances of me playing you at any stage where I require you to be on 20 mil bases is slim.
Yeah, also the sculpts from Bequest Miniatures are fairly chunky Skellybobs.
Oh man, I should take a picture at some point of. Oh, I'd have to fucking find them. I got the Mythic America engines, and theoretically they come on 25 mil round bases because they're used for Warlords of Erwan. Except their legs are so fucking wide.
You could fit a horse under them.
They don't fit on a 30 or on a 25 mil base. And I'm looking at it going, this is terrible, because I was planning on using these in other games, and I really want them to be on 20 mil, and these fuckers are practically on surfboards. So I will find them and take pictures of them alongside something with a leg that isn't fucking so massive.
Yeah, also I played myself because I went for the cheapest option on eBay for 25 mil squares, and they don't have a slot, and the miniatures from Bequest are metal with slots.
Oh.
So I need
Do you need 25 mil? How many do you need? Because no harm, son. I've got several hundred, if not running into the thousands of slotted bases, so I can provide them, because all my fantasy stuff these days goes on multi-bases for Kings of War. I couldn't give a fuck about singles.
Well, it's 14 miniatures, but I just cut the slotters off and. And the funny one of the
certain I give you fucking 14.
Technically, it would be 13 because one of them is just the skeleton upper half and just the chest and a piece of the spine, so no legs.
Okay, grand. I mean, I'll take them out and wing them in the post.
But in the same at the same time, I bought from the same seller bases for Dunkeldorf, which are 25 mils with cobblestone on top.
Oh, fancy!
They look just so nice. I thought those will fit nicely with Dunkeldorf miniatures. So they will actually look like they have a proper base for change.
Squares?
Of course, squares. Jerry.
Where'd these come from?
eBay.
Or cobblestone bases? Don't mind us, folks. You talk amongst yourselves. Was it
I'll
from somebody
chuck
called
the link
GameLink?
into chat. This is the one. At least I hope this works
Holy
for everybody.
fuck. Oh no, that's very different from what I was looking at. Player's Den. Okay. Okay.
Also, they got a recess underneath that fits a tiny magnet.
Oh, tiny magnets. Hold me closer, tiny magnets. Is that fucking color shift on those? Why is it green purple on top of those cobblestones? That's very
I
peculiar.
think that's just the reflection because they're black plastics. They're just plain black.
Oh, they're actually. Oh, they're not resin. They're
No, that's plastic. Injection molded.
Oh, die besitzen ein Workprax Kopfsteinpflaster. Oh, excellent! I'm in there like fucking Flynn.
Oh, I know. Did something. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm saving that fella. And the great thing is, there's no additional payments required because it's just coming from Europe, so that's great.
Bye, Nick. See you next week, I hope.
Bye.
Speaking of bye.
We should probably go as well.
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. I need to go
That
to
is
bed.
true.
Also, the toucans want to be out again. So
You've got toucans. Should you not? I mean, are they not some sort of exotic animal? Why have you got toucans? Tatty
bye.
bye. Bye, Crispin. Bye, other people.